Good morning, everybody. What is today? Thursday? Happy Thursday. All right, so we are 2 weeks now into November, and today I have a what sold video for you that will be recording what sold from November 1st until November 7th, so the very first week of November. Now, just to go over last month we did hit just over $1,500. And for our quarter 4, our goal was $1,000 a month. And so now seeing how high we hit last month, I'm raising our goal to 1,200. So you might be wondering why 1,200 if we made 1,500 last month. Well, that's just because this month I was taking things the last few weeks I was taking things a little slower. And so because of that, it doesn't affect your business that week. What you do, it'll affect it for the upcoming weeks. That's when you'll start to see results of what you have or haven't been doing. And so, because I've been taking a bit of a break, I know that it's going to be slowing down a little bit. And so, until I kick it into gear again. So, I'm just trying to do a modest goal of $1,200, which will be a profit of $400 a week. So, stay tuned to see if we hit that or not. All right, we're going to start off on eBay because we made no sales in the first week on Mercari, but that's kind of to be expected. Mercari is not big for us, but it's just something where I don't mind cross posting. It just takes a few seconds. And so even if I only make $100 a month off of it, to me, if I'm only taking a few seconds per item to cross post, then it's worth it. If next year we see that for whatever reason, let's say we don't make any money, or there's just several weeks that go by without sales, then we might look into cutting out Mercari. We have done that before, but what I do love about Mercari is that there are no fees for the seller, so that is nice. All right. So again, back to eBay. These Frosty the Snowman pants, pajama pants sold for $15. These I got from Aldi last Christmas. I think maybe like or they were like really cheap, but keep in mind these are great things that you can get when they go half off, 75% off, 90% off, whatever after Christmas. Just keep an eye on certain things. I'm obviously not saying to scoop everything up that you find and not to hold on to it for, years, but I had this and then a pair of Disney ones, which also sold, and they were just really cheap and they were rolled up, so they didn't take up much space. They're lightweight, so easy and cheap to ship. So, yeah, just keep in mind. So, $15 after we paid for fees on eBay, and then we purchased the shipping label. It was 1207 after our $4 cost of goods, even though these didn't cost $8. Remember, we have or four that we have that average cost of good. And so after that, we made a profit of 807 on these. Next was a Kim Rogers dress. I had a family member buy this for me from the clearance section of a consignment store for $2, and it sold for 12.75. I was willing to let it go for pretty cheap because it was just a mall brand that sold at Belk, and it had some wear on it, like some fuzzies or pilling. And I've noticed that anytime things are striped, like white and navy or white and black or white and red, it seems like those really wear easily. I've noticed like those will show a lot of significant wear with the striping. So anyway, so that sold for 12.75. Next was this baby jacket, and I actually realized once I went to photograph it that it didn't have a size in it. I think my mom had gotten this from like Goodwill or something for one of my sons, and so I just measured it and kind of compared it to clothing that we already had here and estimated it to be about a 3 to 6 month coat. And then I also put in the listing that it didn't have a size, that I compared it to clothes we had, and just to look at the measurement for the best sizing idea. And that did sell for $26, which I was super surprised to get, just seeing as how it didn't have a size. Like you can't guarantee anything, but that still just surprised me. But I guess if you had, let's say you were like expecting a baby, you didn't have it yet, and you knew that at some point it would fit the baby, then I could see why someone would be willing to pay that much. Next was a pair of men's jeans. These were also just like, I think this is just another brand from Belk, True Craft. And the reason I bought these was because they were new with tags and they were a larger size. They sold for $20. An American Eagle hoodie. This was a bigger size. It was a 3XL. I think this was something I had gotten for my husband, maybe from like Marshalls or something. I used to buy him a lot of clothes and then I realized that he really doesn't wear but like the same things over and over, and there was no point of me buying him a lot of cool stuff. So I'm just trying to pare down on some of that. I was willing to let it go for pretty cheap, and we sold it for $20. Next was this vintage dress. This is a horrible picture. This is when I used to do pictures downstairs in our living room, which, side note, I actually really miss doing because I feel like I have been considering maybe moving where I do pictures just because to me, when I come up here and I'm cooped up upstairs all by myself, I just don't feel like I'm ever in the mood to go upstairs and take pictures. And when I was downstairs doing pictures in the living room, it was nice. I had the TV there, I had family coming in and out. It did seem like it kept our living room more cluttered because you have like your lighting and your inventory that you're gonna photograph, and what you've already photographed needs to go upstairs and get put away and whatever. Um, I didn't have a designated area to do measurements, but it did just seem nice kind of being more integrated in part of like the rest of the household because that is one of the perks of working from home. But I don't know. I also really would get crappy pictures like this, so that's, that wasn't good. Anyway, this did finally sell. It was a plus size and it was vintage, and I've had it up here for like, gotta say, maybe about a year, year and a half, and it sold for $35. This was my husband's. He said that he got it in like I think a Loot Crate box and it was only like $30 or something. And he has just held on to it. I kind of wish that we had listed it when the Fallout TV show came out, which was, I don't know, I don't think it's been a year, but maybe like 6 months or something. At least that's when I think we watched it, was about 6 months ago, and I think we could have gotten more for it. We listed it a few months after we watched the show, and then we sat on this for a little bit. When he first ran comps, they were selling for a lot higher, and then by the time we listed it, and that's the bad thing about resale, is that if you don't list something right when something is popular, then it could actually completely fizzle out and then be worth nothing. So you really have to make sure that if you have something that's popular, whether it be from a TV show or just a certain style, try to get it listed ASAP. We're still happy with this, obviously, this price at $117, just because of the fact that he only paid like 34 and it's been sitting on display for him for years. Next was a vintage midi skirt that I got from Goodwill. This sold for $21.50. I actually think this might have been from the bins, if I'm not mistaken, because I think that I found this and it had like a matching top, and I didn't get it was like the where you pay by the pound, and I didn't get the top because I thought, well, I don't think I see people wearing two-piece sets much anymore, but this was a cute, it's a plus size. It was kind of minimalistic because it's just black, and it had very small gold like kind of shimmery polka dots on it, and it was and again plus size and everything, and it was like I could see people wearing this more than the two-piece outfit. So yeah, and I think this has been on here for probably about a year as well. This is an older piece. And then lastly, this was just something of my own, so I didn't mind it going for really cheap. This sold for $9, just a little graphic t-shirt. Oh, and the total from eBay for the first week of November, we profited $191.59. Next is Poshmark. This is all things as well from the Halloween sale that I ran on October 31st, where I did a super deep discount. I did run another discount for Veterans Day, so when I do the second week of November's sales, was Veterans Day, was it this? Yeah, this one. So, excuse me, we should see some of the evidence of that sale in the next What Sold video. All right, so this was a Chico's Travelers cardigan that was part of that sale because I did, of course, have this quite a bit higher than $17, but I did the waterfall sale, which I actually went all the way to 40% just because I did want to clear through a lot of items. So some of the things that you'll see are going to be significantly cheaper than I would have normally listed them for, they would have normally sold for just because they ended up being part of that sale. This sold for 17. These Judy blue jeans as well sold for $21. Some baby fat vintage Y2K jeans. They were like low rise, and I feel like they might have been straight or they might have had like a bit of a slight boot cut. They sold for 22. Torrid jeans sold for 20. So I'm kind of thinking because I noticed that a lot of jeans have been selling recently, but a lot of jeans sold too during this sale, and I'm thinking of trying to I don't know if I want to stop picking up Torrid jeans, but I think that if I was picking up Torrid jeans and listing them at $30, and I'm starting to notice that the sale price of them has gone down a lot, and I'm selling them more for 20, maybe $25. So I think that I might hold off on picking up any more because $20 is still good. But as you see, after Poshmark fees, then I only get 16. And when you consider the fact that my average cost of good is 4, then that's $12. It's not bad. But that's just if they sell for 20. If I do them any, if they go any cheaper than that, like if it's a smaller size, like I think I do it for 10 and 12, size 10 and 12 jeans from Torrid, then I list them even cheaper. And I'm just trying to think, do I really want something sitting if I'm only going to profit $10 on it? So just some thoughts I've been having lately about Torrid. This was an Artful Dodger hoodie. We were kind of hoping we'd get a little more for it. I can't remember the details about the brand. I feel like it might have been celebrity started or like some kind of musical artist had it. I can't really remember, but it was pretty cool. We've had this for quite a while as well, and it sold for $29. Another Vermont country store pajama set sold for 30. We've been selling, I know I say this every what sold video, we've been selling so many of these, and my mom just picked up a few more pieces for us that she found. Um, I I think that I'm like almost done listing them for the rest of this year because I'm just like so tired of photographing and listing them. But every time I think that, then I have another one sell, and so it's kind of hard to not list them. I actually just cross-posted some onto eBay yesterday, and then I had two of them sell the same day yesterday. One on Poshmark and one on eBay. But they do take up a lot of room, and what I'm a little worried about is what if after Christmas, which I know we still have over a month to go, like a month and a half, but I'm just worried, what if Christmas hits and people just aren't buying anymore and they don't want any of these anymore, and then these take up a lot of room, and I'm a little worried about having them in our inventory, in our listed inventory, just sitting. So I don't know. I guess maybe I could always drop prices and do like a huge Christmas sale or something. We'll see. So these sold for 30. These were some vintage LL Bean jeans and they sold for 15. A Chico's tunic. I think I had bought this for myself off of maybe Poshmark or Goodwill. I can't ever remember. This sold for 15. You'll notice the $15 amount a lot. And that was one of those things where I started taking notice. So every time something sells for 15, because of fees and everything, and then our cost of goods, we profit $8. So everything that you see that's 15, we actually are getting 8. So almost, what is that? Almost half, only about half of that price is what we're actually getting for it. So that's again kind of the thing where I have to think, okay, if something is going to sell for 15, is it worth it? Yes, we're profiting $8 off of it, but how much time is actually going into sourcing that item, fluffing it up in the taking it home, fluffing it up in the dryer, taking pictures of it, taking measurements, listing it, cross-posting it, putting it away, picking the item, packaging it up, selling it, or shipping it off, taking it to the post office or scheduling a pickup for that item. So that's a lot of work when you think about the fact that you're just profiting $8. Yes, it's profit, but it's just something to think about. Tora jeans, again, very low price, 18. We did profit $10.40 off of these. You'll notice that skinny jeans are still selling for us, so that was a good sign to me. BKE straight leg jeans. These were men's and these sold for 28. Can jeans sold for 23. They were pretty cool because the bottom hem of them looked like they were twisted. I feel like that would probably like irritate me wearing them, feeling the hem of them or the stitching twisted, but it was cool, a cool design. Another pair of can jeans sold for 22. A Vermont Country Store nightgown, size medium, sold for 40. It is surprising me that some of this, I would say smaller sizes, which to me would just be like smaller than an extra large. I'm surprised that they're selling for the prices that they are. I really thought that we would only get these higher prices, like $40, in the plus sizes, but that has been surprising to me. And then lastly, another pair of Judy Blue jeans. Was this the second or the third pair that I sold of these? Maybe second. And they sold for $25. So our total profit for Poshmark for the first week of November was $212. If you remember last month we made $438 in that last week of on Poshmark, but I did have some really high dollar sales. So that brings our total profit for the first week of November to $403.59, which is exactly where we need it to be. If we want to make $1,200 a month, that means that we need to be profiting $400 each week for all 4 weeks of November. So we are right on track. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.